Hey everyone, how we doing today? This is James Sweeney, aka SplitSuit, and welcome back to another video. And as part of the Ask SplitSuit a Question series, a bunch of people asked hand history questions, and this one actually came privately via email, and Ben just wants me to review this hand with pocket queens. So let's check it out. Okay, so this hand is from 5 no limit 6 max on PokerStars Zoom. There's a raise under the gun. Here decides to call next act with pocket queens, and I want to talk about this because this is a really important part of the hand that I think sometimes goes overlooked. So to start out, I want to talk about a situation where I like calling here. I like calling here if you have some really aggressive squeezers behind you, so you can call, induce that squeeze, and then go forward from there. That's a great situation. But in most other dynamics, I don't love calling here. And there's a couple reasons why. First and foremost, I don't want to call and just allow other people to continue for cheap, right? I don't want to just let other people continue with things like ace-x and small pairs and suited connectors and just get there and put me into uncomfortable situations and possibly unprofitable situations later down the line, right? When I could have otherwise charged them preflop if they wanted to get involved with me. And part of that is that we're playing 5 no limit here. And 5 no limit is a very, very passive dynamic. A lot of players just, once they see one caller, they want to get involved as well. And then we're just putting ourselves into a bad situation, especially when half the players left to act could take position on me. Don't love that situation. So I'm definitely keeping that in mind. The other thing I want to think about is if I'm not 3-betting queens here, what is my 3-bet range? Right? The issue there is that if I'm not 3-betting queens, chances are that I'm only 3-betting kings plus and maybe a little bit of garbage. But is that going to be a great situation? And I'd say probably not. If I ever find myself in a situation where like I'm only ever being aggressive and active with a super nutted range, then it's very easy for my opponents to beat me because I'm not getting thin enough. And that doesn't mean thin in the sense of you're on the verge of spewing. That just means thin as in making sure that your active range or your 3-betting range or your getting aggressive range isn't just like the ultra nuts. Because if that's the case, it's going to be very, very easy for your opponents to beat you. And here's the thing, if you 3-bet here and voltage folds, whatever, who cares? It's going to happen. If he keeps folding, fine, just keep 3-betting him with garbage. That is what it is. That's okay. But don't just like 3-bet because like, oh, well, I'm scared he's going to fold pocket sevens. Fine, if he folds his equity with pocket sevens, that's fine. But he's going to continue with some second best stuff. He's going to allow you to make money here, and you don't want to call and just induce a situation where you're allowing other players to screw you for like the cheapest price possible. That's something you actively want to avoid. So I would just 3-bet this preflop rather than flat as a pure default. Again, there are maybe 1 or 2 dynamics where I may flat instead, but typically it's going to be a 3-bet. So we find ourselves here, check, c-bet, here decides to just call. So this is the next most important inflection point in the hand. And here just decides to call, and this is kind of what happens when people call the open raise preflop as opposed to 3-betting. They put themselves in this situation where they like start flatting a lot post-flop, and they put themselves at like the absolute top side of their calling spectrum. And I just don't like that. I just want to be aggressive. I want to be more aggressive in poker than just flat. Right? I mean, what is that really doing? All you're allowing is your opponent to actualize equity at their price, to do whatever they want, and allow yourself to be in this passive game. And that's just really not a great way to play poker. So I would actually raise this. And this is a situation where I could be at the top side of my raising range, right? Obviously, if you're raising sets, that's the absolute top side, but typically people aren't going to put you on a hand as strong as queens because, well, you probably shouldn't have pocket queens in your range here, but it is what it is. And I think that if we raise, sure, he's not going to fold sets. He's not going to fold aces and kings. But I think he's still going to continue with like 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks. There's a lot of combos of that. I don't think he's ever going to have like 7-5 suited when he opens from under the gun. So I'm totally cool with that. And if what call decides to have some sort of like pocket sevens, good for him. Again, we probably played it poorly by just letting him get involved cheaply preflop like that. So again, another situation where preflop should have been more aggressive. On the flop, should have been more aggressive. This passivity is just killing us and putting us into some really, I'm not going to say unprofitable spots. It could certainly be profitable, but I don't think it's optimal, and that's the problem. So we end up getting called. Queen on the turn, obviously that makes life really, really easy. Check, check, here decides to bet. Love the fact that we're betting. Probably bet a little bit larger here, probably like $1.20, just because I expect at this level there's going to be a lot of inelasticity. So if they have a draw, if they have like 7-8, I'm expecting if they're going to continue for 105, they probably continue for 120. So let's just go the larger size. End up getting called, fold by voltage, go here, and we face a jam from what call. So I don't tend to say this a lot, but I'm going to say it in a spot like this because I think it's important to say. But who cares, right? It just doesn't matter. Partially because we're getting 3-1, partially because there are some second best hands that could do this, and partially because we probably should have never seen this spot, right? If we 3-bet preflop, this spot doesn't come up. If we raise the flop, this spot doesn't come up, right? If we just played the hand better on earlier streets, this situation doesn't arise. And because of that, it's a who cares situation because it won't happen in the future. So in this situation, could he have some real hands? I mean, he's repping like backdoor spades, maybe like 6-4 or like ace-7 of spades. And honestly, is he going to have that some summons at the time when we call? Yeah. Is he going to have 6-8 suited? Yeah. Does it suck to be us? Yeah. But again, it just doesn't matter because we're getting 3-1 and we shouldn't see this situation. Again, this is a spot where, yeah, we lost the hand, whatever, but did we play the hand best leading up to that point? And I'd say no, right? 3-betting preflop, much better. Raising the flop, if we ever call it preflop, I think it's going to be much better. I just don't see this play being best, and then we put ourselves into this weird river spot that, again, we won't really see in the future if we play the earlier streets better. So Ben, thanks for the great hand, and if you or anyone else has a poker-related hand or question, feel free to leave it on our Google Plus page. I'll leave a link for that in the description box, and also please make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this type of video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, good luck out there, and happy grinding.